hold the ball out in front of us and just fall onto the ball. And then we're going to let the elbows bend. Look at that, I'm simulating, look. Can you see that? Look at that. Like a mime artist. You fall onto the wall and then you just bend. Look at that, I look like I'm leaning on the bar, and then push yourself back. I'm going to go to the real wall and do that, yeah? So very easy because we haven't got loads of body weight on it. But there's enough to get the arms warmed up, and what's really nice is it's a little bit wobblier. Yeah, it's very nice to land on and just let those elbows go down to the floor and then recover. So the ball comes. Round we go and bend. Easy movement. Okay, and because I want to do lots of these, we're going to just keep going, but let's go the other way with the ball. So it's going to go up now. Turn the head, rotate the body, take it back, untwist, back into the hands and bend and push. And it goes up, turn the head, rotate, bring the ball round and down, and arm down. Yeah, try that if you want. Put the hands under the ball, like you're going to do an underarm throw with the ball. And then land on the ball like that. Mind you don't slip off the ball though, it doesn't, I don't want you banging your head on the wall. But there you go, elbows into the sides of the body and push. And you can get the ball to come into the tummy, and you might feel actually a nicer connection in that tummy. Yeah. Okay, and I think we'll finish off with that. Easier knee bend. A nice calf stretch on each one. And play around with lifting the ball into a different place. I think I'll just stick with this actually. So if you have the ball up near the back of the shoulder blades, take a knee bend, and you could either try and leave your pelvis underneath you. If you want to go a bit deeper, you could bring tailbone to the wall. Do you see? And there's your forward reach position. Yeah? And up. Look, pain in the chest. Don't do it. It shouldn't feel uncomfortable. So that's 2. I've got 4 more to do. Quick maths. Okay, and then stretch out. That's it. Isn't that nice? And as we get to do these last ones, if you liked taking those hands away and that idea of, so you land the chest on the ball and then strong tummy, and just take the hands out to the side like you're free falling through the air. Yeah, put the hands back and lift the hands. Lift the body up into a stretch. I really do like that, and it feels comfortable. You don't have to take the hands away. Down you go. So Prima Pilates special, of course. Strong tummy. Take the hands away, and then if you want even more, you can think about diamond press and think about lifting the chest so you can see the wall in front of you, and then pull the arms back some more. So you're really skydiving. Move about a bit for some extra Pilates fun. Put the hands back and then recover. And just take a very small elbow bend and push yourself back up. Yeah, if it's a very small elbow bend, I think most of you will manage doing that. Yeah, just take a very small elbow bend and push yourself back up. And you can feel if you go lower that it will get hard. So hard work. So elbow bend and then a bit more and push yourself back up. The ball really getting squashed. Watch those wrists. And there is an element of risk to this. So you could slip off the ball to the ball. So you can take an elbow bend all the way down on the ball and push yourself back up. And then when you do your elbow bend, you'll feel the pubic bone land on the ball and then push yourself back up. So it gives that lovely support to the body just when you need it. Yeah, and push. And down. And push back and back. So if you bend your elbows and land with the pubic bone on the ball, you might be surprised that you could lift your feet up into the air, knees and feet. Bring the nose down to the mat. It's not as hard as it looks. It's not as hard as it looks. So long as you're comfortable and you can feel that the glutes, your backside muscles, are having to work. Backs of the legs you can feel. And you can do a little bit of swimming. Yeah? Lift up and down the legs. Yeah? From the hips. Keep the knees still. Just do a little bit of the swimmer with those legs. Keep the nose on the floor. Get those glutes fired up and get them working. Those are your hip extensors. That's it. Put the feet together, push yourself back up, and then you lift up and land on the ball like that. Yeah. Now you can keep your feet on the floor. Yeah, you can keep your feet on the floor, your toes on the floor for a bit of stability. If you're really adventurous, you can lift your feet off the floor so it's wobblier still. And you can do a press up. And it's surprisingly hard to go all the way down. It's surprisingly hard because you're just that little bit higher up off the floor and the body weight's coming forward more. Yeah. So just have a go, just have a little play with that. You can roll the knees back and forward on the ball. So this is something that I do like. If you're managing to do this, you take the head down to the floor, you bring yourself back up, and then you just pull those knees in between your hands. Do you see? And the ball rolls down to your ankles. You get a nice little curve out of the spine. Yeah, the spine curves, and it should feel really comfortable. And you send the knees, the legs back out so you're on the ball again. And if you want, you can do another press up. You don't have to do the press up if you don't want. If you like this bit, you can just enjoy this. I love this. I really love this. Bring the knees in and back. And in fact, if you try and get the ball to come all the way in to your feet, to your toes, you can feel the tummy muscles really kicking in to try and curve that lumbar spine to bring the legs underneath. Take it easy. You don't have to work any harder than you want to do. So if you don't fancy doing this, go back to whatever exercise we've already done in the class so far, one that you did like, one that you've liked the most so far, and just do that one again. Yeah, that's if you don't want to do this next one, which isn't easy because it doesn't always work for me. So what happens is you put the ankles over the top of the ball, yeah, like that, and then you power up and lift the knees off the floor. Now already this is quite energized. Support from that tummy, yeah, and there you go. If you want, you can do elbow bending on the ball like this, yeah, very shaky. Lots of support for the tummy, elbows in, nose can go all the way down to the floor. Isn't that great? Right, and then fall off it. And I can feel on me, there's like a little stretch in the lumbar spine as the pulling on the ball just does a north tilt of the pelvis. Let's just place the ball a bit higher so it's on the belly button. Breath in as you breathe out. Let the tummy relax and just pull down on the ball. And just encourage your spine to close down to the mat. And release. And let's just do two more there. Breathing out. and release, and again. So it's like you're trying to pull your elbows down to the floor, yeah? And then let's put it on rib cage closure, so on those the lower part of your ribs. You might want to wiggle your body about a bit longer, you know? Not be short in the spine, but get a long spine. Breath in, and then as you breathe out, pulling down on the ball on the lower ribs. Don't have to do this if you've got any rib issues, yeah? Do you know what I'm talking about? You've got any issues on the front of the body, any surgery, any scar, you know, anything there that you shouldn't be sort of like interfering, you know, just use a bit of common sense, to put it bluntly. Yeah, so, but sometimes that's the best way, you know. Just put the ball on the front of the chest even. Don't do this if you don't want to. Just let the chest relax. Very gentle with this one on the chest, of course. And breathe out. Just to really, it's all about relaxing the rib cage and just letting that very gentle flexion of the bones happen, you know. So the knees as wide as you can go, and the heels trying to like stand on each side of the ball. And then from there, just squeeze the heels inwards towards the ball. Keep the legs turned out. Yeah, keep the knees open and just try and squeeze inwards and release. Yeah, and again, just squeeze inwards and release. So the knees aren't coming inwards, the knees are staying open. So actually you're trying to turn out the legs as you squeeze the heels into the ball. Very achy in the double knee fold position. Yeah, and then just bring the knees in and watch those knees. As you bring those knees in, make sure each leg is doing its fair share. Some of you might have already noticed that as you're trying to do that, one leg might keep stopping and being a bit lazier than the other. Really try and keep both knees moving in evenly until they meet in the center of your body. What we're going to do is we're going to bring the knees in and straighten the legs up into a parallel position. Yeah, and flex the toes back towards the nose. And then release back down, turning out the legs as you bend the knees again. And again, straightening up and turning into parallel. And more if you want to try and turn inwards with those legs straight, turn inwards and then turn outwards again and again. Up we go and turn in. Flex the toes back towards the nose and release. Pull down on the ball. And then back down. So as you're doing it, you're trying to not let your tummy push into the ball. Now when you've got the ball, so you breathe out, you pull down on the ball, and you keep trying to pull the tummy away from the ball. And even when you breathe in at the top, you direct the air into the back of the rib cage, open the back of the rib cage, and really try to not let the tummy press back into the ball. Yeah. And of course, you can feel your hip flexors working away as well, so they're starting to ache perhaps. So when you've had a good go at those, let those legs slide out and have a good rest. And again, lifting off the ball. Breath in and just back down you go again. Now, and again, lifting off the ball and back down. Yeah, and before that neck starts getting too achy, we're going to start to lift the hands higher and higher each time. And you know that that's going to start getting a bit tougher each time as well. So lifting up and trying to lift the hands a little bit higher. That time and back down. And again, lifting up, Try and get those arms to come a little bit higher. They probably won't go much more. Yeah. And lifting up off the ball and try and pull those arms back by the ears. You don't have to go back all the way on any of them, but very comfortable for me to do. Doesn't mean to say it's going to be comfortable for you. Just some of these, they're like curl-ups, but you can go further because the floor's not in the way of the head. Yeah. And what we're going to do when we come up on the next one, you don't have to be going all the way down into extension like this, but when you come up onto the next one, we're going to take one hand off the back of the head and try and rotate a bit, and as if we're trying to reach that hand up to the ceiling. Let the body twist as you try and lift. And then back down. And you can go all the way into extension if you want to. Yeah, and then we'll do the other side. We're coming up, let that hand come forward, and you're trying to get that hand to reach up to the picture rail. And back down. And it should feel quite comfortable in that start position, whereas normally that's quite energized and hard work to hold because there's nothing there supporting. All right, and then we're ready to go. So just what we did on the other side was to just do a very little lift off a bit and back down. So you're kind of just testing the water, you're testing the spine, the hips, you're just feeling how it's going bit by bit, just lift and lower. Yeah, very easy to start with. And if it's all feeling fine, you can just start to get a bit higher each time. Until you're pretty much doing the full side lying hip lift and lower exercise. And then back down to hold hands. And rotate, trying to roll the ball forwards. Be careful with your resting shoulder that you're leaning on. And then we did a little bit of a reach forward, so it's a bit more, just trying to go a bit further. And open. Should feel lovely, this. It's not strictly a Pilates exercise, but I'm hoping it will leave you feeling really nice and loosened up in the spine, yeah? And straighten the knees and bend. Lovely, yeah? And straighten and bend. You can choose different exercises right now if you want to. Just straighten the knees and bend the knees. Really nice. Feel those legs stretch out and bend. One more, straighten and bend. Now straightening the knees and holding them straight now. Breath in as you breathe out, power up, stabilize and lift the body weight off the ball a bit. For a breath in. Breathe out to come back down. Let's get 6 of these done. Breath in as you breathe out. Stabilize. Lift. Back down. Another one. So lift the knee into prone lying leg lift. As you breathe out, stabilize. See if you can lift up. Yeah. And back down. All right. I've done everything I wanted to do. So here we go. These exercises will be on YouTube, on your class recap. Doesn't matter which way you go. Yeah, doesn't matter which way you go. First of all, they'll be on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Click the alarm bell button so that you get alerts soon as your class pops up on YouTube. These same exercises, this very class, pops up on YouTube, heavily edited. Heavily edited, just as a recap, just as a reminder of what we did. Yeah. There's every time that leg comes up, no matter which way you're cycling, there's that lovely stretch at the top. And then we'll go down. I'm going to change direction now. Don't worry, you don't have to be going the same direction as me. So calf stretch happening as well. Just let that foot let the ankle just relax as you're doing some of these, and try not to push into the band with the foot every time, and just have that stretch that moves about up the calf muscle. So you can do some, of course, pushing the toes or the ball of the foot into the band as you cycle. You can do some without that happening at all. Both are nice, yeah. There we are. There we go. And just put both feet into the band. And if the band is taut enough, it could be really nice. If you've got enough tension on the band, just slide those legs out, and a roll up could be an absolute joy. If the band is tight enough, a roll up could be an absolute joy. Yeah, and back down also. It's wonderful. Yeah, and a roll up through the center. Actually bring those hands together in the center, right in the center of your body, and come up. I'll tell you why, because I think that bringing the hands together in the center gives a really good feeling of keeping a balance in the exercise. Yeah. Open the arms at the top. You just throw this in as well. Breathe in and open the arms. Feel the chest, feel the arms working, feel the shoulders, stretch those hands out to the sides. Bring the hands back together again, tuck the tail under and just tuck under, keep just tucking under and just control it back. Correct the head. Chin lift, breathe in and chin lift. Yeah, as you breathe out, chin tuck. Bending through the body, bring those hands together. And keep those hands right in the center of both legs. Up, breathe in and open. And there you go, all right? All done. So I'll be back here, same time, same place for some more Pilates fun.